Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Not so long ago, people who suffered from mental illness had the image of being weak-minded. It was also considered uncool to go to counseling or psychiatry. However, since around the 1980s, it has become clear that mental illness is largely a problem of brain function, and that medication is very effective in treating it. In addition, celebrities have come out as having mental illnesses, and it is now understood that suffering from a mental illness is not something special. The World Health Organization has added mental illness to the 4 major diseases of cancer, stroke, myocardial infarction, and diabetes, calling them the 5 major diseases. Of these, mental illnesses account for the largest number of patients. Mental illness can happen to anyone. Even so, there are many people who think that mental illness is just a matter of how you feel. We often hear stories of people being trapped at home or at work because they are mistaken for being lazy. It is very common for a disease that would have gotten better if it had been treated early to become chronic because it is left untreated. If it is treated early, the patient will recover quickly, and if it is treated late, recovery will take longer, and in the worst case, treatment may be required for the rest of his or her life. Therefore, it is very important to know how mental illness begins and the early symptoms. In this video, we will introduce you to some of the early symptoms of mental illness. When these appear, you should suspect illness, not worry or laziness. It is a sign that you should take a rest or get treatment as soon as possible. 1. Abnormality of sleep and appetite. In most cases of mental illnesses, the mind is gradually worn down by a series of painful and worrisome events and finally reaches its limit, leading to the onset of the illness. At the same time, abnormalities also occur in the brain. The brain goes into alert mode so that it can react immediately to anything that is happening. This is called the awake state of the brain. Even if you try to rest, you might think, "This is no time to sleep." When you try to eat, your brain constantly tells you, "This is not the time to eat." Therefore, insomnia and loss of appetite are the initial symptoms of most mental illnesses. In addition, when the brain is in a state of continuous arousal, it may become dull, as if it were switched off at some point. This is a state of inhibition, the opposite of wakefulness, because brain activity is suppressed. When this happens, no matter how much sleep you get, you are sleepy all day, hungry, and trying to eat a lot. This is the state of hypersleep and overeating. Either way, abnormalities in sleep and appetite are the most indicative symptoms of mental illness. 2. Lack of energy. It is not uncommon for anyone to feel depressed and unable to concentrate on work or study if they are going through a difficult time. However, if it continues for longer than 2 months, you may be suffering from a mental illness. Many people think of mood swings when they think of depression, but loss of energy is also an early symptom of any mental illness, including schizophrenia and anxiety. Conversely, too much energy is also a problem. If your mood is elevated and restless, if you spend a lot of money, or if you become emotional and angry easily, for a week or more, you are manic. This is a symptom of bipolar disorder. 3. Unexplained physical illness. Mental illness also manifests itself in a variety of physical symptoms due to the imbalance of the autonomic nervous system. If no major abnormality can be found after a physical examination by an internal specialist, such as fatigue, low fever, gastrointestinal disorders, headache, or back pain, there may be a mental illness hiding behind the symptoms. 4. Unable to go to work or school. Some people are unable to go to work or school after the holidays. Directly, this is due to various physical ailments such as abdominal pain, headache, low blood pressure, etc. In reality, the mind is rejecting the workplace or school. Because of the pain of their physical condition, they cannot explain their state of mind well in words, but there is a mental illness hiding in the background. Various mental illnesses are possible, such as adjustment disorder, depression, social anxiety, schizophrenia, etc. 5. Frustrated and angry. When a person becomes irritated and angry at the slightest event, For example, a family member's words, a noise opening or closing a door, etc., it is called irritability. If a previously calm person becomes quick to anger, there is cause to suspect a mental illness. It could be depression, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder. 6. Anxiety or fear. Anxiety is one word, but each person feels it differently. Anxiety is an alarm of the mind that says, "I can't go on like this." Different people feel and express anxiety in different ways. Some people feel, "I can't stop worrying. I can't stay still. I'm going crazy. I feel violent. My chest feels tight. My heart is racing. It's hard to breathe. And I'm thirsty no matter how much water I drink." Whichever it is, if it interferes with your daily life, consider it an illness. You may have anxiety, depression, or schizophrenia. If your anxiety comes on like an attack, you may have panic disorder. Another illness, social anxiety, is when you feel anxious or fearful of the way people look at you and cannot go out in public. 7. Intrusive thoughts and obsessive-compulsive behavior. If pleasant thoughts are always on your mind, you are happy. However, if unpleasant thoughts or images such as, "I will be robbed," "I will have an accident," "I will have a fire," or "my family will be unhappy," keep popping into your head throughout the day, you may have depression or obsessive-compulsive disorder. The thoughts and images that come to mind are called obsessions. When obsessions are present, the person may repeatedly perform confirmatory acts to counteract them. For example, if we have an obsession that germs will make us sick, we may wash our hands for hours on end in order to wash away the germs. Another sign of mental illness is an increase in checking to see if you forgot to lock the door, turn off the lights, or check to see if you forgot your wallet or phone. 8. Feeling like people are watching you. The feeling of being stared at by everyone in the classroom, at work, or on the train for some reason is called a sense of being watched. It is a very unpleasant feeling of being the center of attention in a strange way. It also feels as if you are being sneakily talked about. This phenomenon occurs when tension builds up and the brain becomes overly sensitive. This symptom is seen in schizophrenia and drug addiction. 9. Hearing voices even when no one is around. Hearing human voices even though no one is present is called auditory hallucination. It is a strange phenomenon in which it sounds as if a person is actually speaking. Most of the content is bad words, and sometimes they talk about secret content that only you know. In other cases, thoughts that are not your own may enter your mind, even if they are not necessarily voices. It is similar to an obsession, but it is clearly not one's own thoughts. Either way, these phenomena are thought to occur in a state of solitude and isolation from one's surroundings. This is a symptom seen in schizophrenia and dissociation. 10. You don't want to do it, but you do it. In schizophrenia and dissociative disorders, the symptoms include doing things that one does not want to do, manipulated by auditory hallucinations and thoughts that come to mind. For example, when passing by a supermarket, the person suddenly hears a voice telling him to buy an apple, and, unable to resist, he buys the apple. This is a very dangerous symptom, as it can lead to harming oneself or others, or even criminal behavior. 11. You want to quit, but you can't. I've got a bad liver, but I can't stop drinking. I gamble, even though I'm in debt. Wanting to quit or having to quit but not being able to stop is an addiction. The most common addictions are alcohol, drugs, gambling, and internet games, but there are also other addictions, such as shopping and food. These are some of the early symptoms of mental illness. These are not signs of laziness or imagination, but signs of a serious condition. If left untreated, they may become chronic. Anyone can get a mental illness. There is no shame in seeking help from people or hospitals. Do not ignore the SOS of the mind, and seek treatment as soon as possible. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.